I only work with Bohemian hair. And why do I do that? Because I have an e-commerce business and I deal with a lot of companies that send me a lot of samples, and we always go back to that Bohemian's the top notch. So I'm not saying, oh, so it's Bohemian, so it's good quality hair. It is truly good quality hair. And how I judge it would also be to look at, you have to look at the hair. We have two different bundles of hair. The one is machine weft, and the other one is hand-tied. It's actually from two different companies. If I take this one bundle of hair and go down the hair shaft, this would be a way of telling not whether it's a good quality hair, but whether they have saved money on producing this hair. So once we start going down the hair shaft, you will see that there's a lot of shorter hairs here, and they will keep coming. And see, my hand is actually getting, like that little hole getting smaller and smaller. The reason why is because there's so many short hairs. So they saved probably, I would say that this pack of hair is supposed to be 18 inches. 75% of it is 12 inches long. So really we don't get the 18 inches. I guess this is a 22 inches long hair that we have here. So we can try and do the same. So I just keep moving my hand down, and see that little hole in my finger still doesn't get smaller. So I keep going down, and about here I start feeling a little bit smaller, but not really. So this hair is actually more true to the length. So if I didn't know that this was Bohemian, this would be my guess, because very, very few companies actually offer you a true length of the hair. So I did show that this hair actually is very even, true to the length, which is amazing. And probably what Bohemian very often do is actually giving us a little bit longer hair than what we are, believe that we are buying. So 18 inches is a little longer than 18 inches. Yes, there are some shorter hairs, but I have to go all the way down here. Remember the other bundle? We just already here. So many shorter hairs. I pay good money for it. But it's still very inexpensive hair. So maybe it still has cuticles, we don't really know that, and it looks pretty good. So how can we test it further? So I can, for example, go down this hair shaft with a scissor, and I'm just gonna start here. You can see I can't slide it evenly because some of it has more than other, so it's very uneven. And see it already poof, broke off the hair. So here is, this was just on those few hairs. Probably 30% of it is silicone. That means that once I start washing it, the silicone will wear off, and probably within 3 or 4 washes, it have no shine to it. Right now it looks like, oh, it's shiny, it looks good, I can use that hair. Putting it in my hair, and 5 washes later, I'll have issues with drying and breakage maybe also, because it probably is gonna get very dry. So if I go down the hair shaft here, there was a little bit I can do, can try again, so nobody thinks that I'm just messing with the hair. But there is really, you can feel it, and it's almost like the other one. I don't play a violin, but it's almost, the other one was like a bad violin. This is really awesome. It is quality hair. It still has a little bit of silicone, but that's more for the, to make sure transportation, so it will get a little less shiny than what it is here. So, but this is gorgeous hair. This is like, I can pull my fingers through it, have no problem with it. It's just very pretty. There's another thing about also Bohemian hair. If you take a look at all the different colors, it's very true to the color. So Bohemian has about 70 colors, which is the latest generation. They actually amazingly picked up on what the stylists and salons really want, to give us so many options of rooted colors, ombre, fancy colors. So about 70 colors, and I think that would make them the company that has the most color options available. Hair is a rare commodity today, so it is amazing that they still can get it. One of the things that are very important to me is the consistency. Consistency in color, consistency in quality, which is very high. Personally, I can't afford to have clients come in and say, my hair's frizzy, I have issues with it. It's just not worth it. Doing hair extensions is so much faster today than before. It's still a time-consuming job to do, so you don't want to do it over. Besides not having a client complain about it. Bohemians actually takes it very serious if there are issues and want to, be in communication with the people that are buying their hair. Because how else do they know whether it's good enough? When I go back and say, there seems to be an issue here, we actually sit down and talk about it. And what could that be? And they take it back to the factory. I don't know any company that does that.